Hey, what's up, guys? This is Chris, the show-off. That's what my friends call me. This is actually my first video, and to start off, we're starting off with something everybody in America wants to know how to do or already knows how to do: solving the Rubik's Cube. Yes, I'm gonna move a bit fast in this video, but it's gonna be a multi-part series, and you'll be able to solve it by the end of if you watch all of them. So, let's get started. First off, you need to know notation. Now, notation is if you were to write out a series of turns, you have to be able to read that and correspond it to the cube. Each side has a certain letter, and there's only two motions for that side. It's the clockwise rotation and the counterclockwise rotation. But you have a specific name for each one. Now, let's say I wanted to do the turn R, which is the right side. Since right begins with R, it's easy to remember. R is just if it's the letter by itself, it's a clockwise rotation on that face. Now, it can get a little bit tricky on how to tell whether it's clockwise or counterclockwise, but if you just look at the face and turn it in a clockwise direction, that's the letter. So you'll have to remember which face turns which way, and if you want to do it quickly, it'll turn into muscle memory, and you'll just remember it. So just the letter by itself is a clockwise rotation, and if you have the letter with a dash, that's actually the letter you actually, like, if I wanted to do it, it would be, if I had like an R with a dash, that would be actually R prime, which is the counterclockwise rotation. So it's the same principle, you just look at the face and turn it the opposite way. So here's notation. You have the right side, which is R. Easy to remember, it begins with R. Right, R. So right side, for you, so the camera might show it backwards, I'm not sure, but so it's right side, R. So R, you have that way, away from you. R prime is towards you. Left, L, that's what it's called because it begins with L. Easy enough to remember. L is the actually opposite, so clockwise is actually towards you, that's L, and L prime is away from you, if you can see. We'll do next, so we've done R and L. You should be able, if I'm moving too fast, just rewind the video, replay it, you'll get it. Now, front and back. You're seeing the back of the cube as we speak. The front of the cube, here's what it should look like. F is actually just the front of the cube moving clockwise, so it's that way. The camera might pick it up backwards, but you can work with it. So F is the front face, front F, clockwise. F prime is the exact opposite. It's counterclockwise of the front face, so that way. So if you were to see it, it would look like this. This would be F. That would be F prime. Got it? Just pretend this is the front. Okay, now back. B. That's the notation for back is B, because you get it. So B is the back. B is just clockwise. I know the camera's picking this up backwards. You get it. But B is clockwise on the back face. B prime is counterclockwise. Now, remember, if you didn't get that, just rewind the video, you'll get it. Lastly, we have the up and the down faces. U is the top face. This is R and, here, let me explain this real quick. R and U are the most commonly used faces when doing algorithms for the Rubik's Cube. So, U is actually the top face moving clockwise, which is just U. Now that you've got that, the U prime is the exact opposite. You turn it counterclockwise. That. Remember, that might have been a little fast. Rewind the video. I'm going to keep moving on. D is opposite, okay? When you do D, I always have trouble remembering which way is which. When you're trying to figure out what D is, look at the face and just turn it that way, and eventually your muscle memory will kick in. So, for me, if you look at it and turn it clockwise, that's D. That's D prime. So here, let's see if I can show it for you. This is down D. So D would be here. It would be here. Actually, let me show you. This would be D, but the camera's probably picking it up backwards, and this D prime. Okay, but you'll be holding it on the bottom. I use my ring finger on each finger to move it. Right here. Now, next we have what's commonly known as finger tricks, which are faster ways of moving the cube with your fingers so you don't have to use your whole hand to turn it. The top, I use my pointer finger to turn it So U, I'm going to start, from now on, I'm not going to use top, bottom, right, left, front, back. I'm going to use the notation, so you'll have to learn it to follow along. U, I always do with my pointer finger and flick from the back of the cube towards me. Now for U prime, I use my left finger and flick towards me as well, so that will give you this. You should have full control of the top. R, I don't really use a finger trick for R. I just use my whole hand for this rotation, but I position it so that a way I can move on to the next turn smoothly. So if I had to do R, U, for example, I'd position my hand. I wouldn't position it like this. I'd position it here, so when I come up, I can do U smoothly. L, same thing. I use my whole hand. D, I actually use my ring finger, and for D prime, I actually use my ring finger as well. B, what I'll do is I'll rotate my hands around the cube and treat that as U, but I'll hold the cube in the same way. So that would be B. F, I do the same thing, just rotate my hands this way and treat it as the top. Got it? That's it for finger tricks. Now, there were a few things I forgot for notation. With notation, there's two more, they're slightly more complicated, but not really. You have M, M prime, X, and Y. I'm going to explain what these mean. So M is just a vertical center rotation. So M would look like that. M prime would look like that. So M is away from you, M prime is toward you. Now, well, that's pretty easy. X and Y are the more complicated ones. Now, if you think of a plane, you have X and Y. X runs horizontally, Y runs vertically. With the cube, it's actually the opposite. Y rotations are on the x-axis, like this. Y, I don't know. Now, X rotations are on the y-axis, so you have vertical cube rotations are X, Y, horizontal are Y. Now, one last point here. When you have a number 2 next to the number, next to the notation, you just turn the thing that many times. It doesn't matter what direction, because there's 4 sides around the cube. So if you turn it twice, you're going to end up the same spot. Watch. It's going to end up in the same thing. So it doesn't really matter which way you turn it. As long as you turn it twice, you should be fine. This is going to end the first video, actually. This is just teaching you the notation, and this is Chris, signing off. Have fun.